Nevada. Today, you are invited to witness all the morbid and macabre curiosities that made the Wild West wild. See, Rondo, the largest rattlesnake ever captured by man. Rondo, over 40 feet of slithering, slide-winding, fang-bearing horror. See, the skeleton of Brutus and Bluto, the two-headed buffalo. Brutus and Bluto. Well, they may be bony, but they sure ain't phony. All this and more, right here for your amusement at the Smoot Brothers Wild West Show. Step right up. Just step right through the opening here, folks, and prepare to scream your fool heads off.
Hi there, young'un. How you been?
Fine.
You look like you're doing good. Oh, you're just like that little girl. Say, I got something here in my pocket I'd like to show you. How'd you like to look at my cockroach? See? I keep some in there. Take some out once in a while. I can play with them. Would you like to play with them?
Strange.
Oh, no, ma'am. I've always been like this, you know, and it's a real pleasure to meet you. Well, you just keep on dancing. Keep that Mr. Smoot happy now.
I see you found our most interesting exhibit already, my dear.
How can you put somebody on display? It's a horrible thing to put a dead body on display.
Sympathy for the devil. Now, isn't that sweet? I take it you are unfamiliar with the legend of the handsome stranger, my dear. Well, usually I save Joshua's story for when I have a larger crowd, but in your case, I'm gonna make an exception. You see before you the sorriest son of a bitch that God ever cursed the land with. Joshua K., the man known as the Handsome Stranger. The man who traveled the Wild West for 15 years. From Arizona to New Mexico to Nevada to California and back again. And in all his travels, left a bloody trail of human victims in his wake. The Handsome Stranger used that very weapon you see on yonder table there to stake out his claims and his victims. You'll also see on display various prizes that the Handsome Stranger took. Billy Brush! What kind of trouble are you into now? Here I am trying to tell this nice young lady about Joshua K., and there you go making the devil's own noise. What are we going to do with you, Billy Brush? Indeed. What will we do? What will we do?
Mr. Smoot said I'm supposed to clean up here between the shows. Mr. Smoot said you ain't supposed to be giving any of them private talks. Mr. Smoot said it's not gonna happen again.
Yeah? Well, Mr. Smoot ain't here right now, but I am. And I says, get your ass out of here. Or is that too much to process in that walnut you call a brain? I am getting through to you, aren't I? Yes. Good. Then get! I am sorry you had to endure the likes of that simpleton, my dear. Billy Brush just ain't got the faculties for a good yarn. Not like you, I'll wager. Well, I bet you can't wait to hear how the handsome stranger's undoing came about. How he came upon a lonely homestead 12 miles outside of Rattlesnake Ridge, California, in the year of our Lord 1892. How he found there a farm woman whose husband was away on business. You see, that was his mode of operation. He liked to find a woman who was alone and then charm his way into her bosom. Joshua K., he was a cold-hearted bastard, but he had a smile that could dazzle the forgotten heart and a face that could turn the head of the most loyal woman. Why, he easily talked that poor foolish woman into letting him into her home so he could refresh himself from his long ride. And then he talked his way into staying the night. And as a blood moon rose high in the night sky, he went and stabbed that woman's son, a boy of only 6, over 20 times. And then he proceeded to have his way with the woman while a 13-year-old daughter watched. Kay had left that boy to bleed to death, but the little pup was strong enough to make it to the outside the house. He crawled to the main road, and there he died. Shortly thereafter, his body was discovered by a passing rider who was acquainted with the boy's family. That rider rode back into Rattlesnake Ridge to fetch the sheriff and a posse. They arrived back at the house just before sunrise, and just after Kay had murdered the daughter. Contrary to the wishes of the men there that morning, that sheriff, he felt duty-bound to keep Kay alive till the circuit judge came through. But as soon as Kay was in his cell, well, he couldn't help but start talking about all the women that he'd had. He bragged and he boasted for nearly 2 whole days. And then he let go the big secret. He said that he liked to take a prize from each one of his victims. A little piece of calico or some other cloth that he cut from their garments at the time he took them. He had one piece of cloth for every one of his victims. Now, the sheriff, well, he heard Dalehouse boasting before, but Kay kept on, and he kept on until that sheriff, desperate to know the truth, went and searched his saddlebags. And there he found a ball of cloth. He undid that ball, and to his horror, he found 214 strips of cloth, all different, all taken from women's clothing. Some of them pieces of cloth, they were stained with blood. Some of them were stained in other ways. But they was all taken by violence. As soon as he made his discovery, the sheriff, he suddenly left town. No one's quite sure why. Some folks say it's because he found a piece of cloth that he recognized as belonging to someone he'd loved and who'd been taken by Kay. Others say it was because his sense of duty became outweighed by something else that day, a sense of justice. At any rate, as soon as the sheriff left town, a lynch mob dragged Kay from his cell and strung him up. They hanged him about 2 miles outside of Rattlesnake Ridge. And as the legend goes, there his body hanged, baking in the sun and cooling in the night breeze for nearly a year. That's when word of his misdeeds reached the Smoot brothers. Now, they traveled all the way from Cleveland, Ohio, to gather his remains. The brothers were surprised that the buzzards had pecked away so little of his carcass. Only the eyes had been taken. Perhaps that was his punishment for all the evil he'd seen and taken pleasure from. And that, my dear, is how the remains of Joshua K. came to reside in our fine Wild West traveling show. You scared, girl? Well, there ain't no need to be. Joshua K. here, he would never come for a woman who had someone with her. Long as I'm here with you, you're gonna be safe.
Look, my boyfriend will be here any minute. And he's really big and he's got a mean temper. And he doesn't like guys who try to screw with me.
You don't say. Your boyfriend be here in a minute now. Is that right?
Yes, and he won't like the fact that you're trying to scare me, you old fucker.
I'm only trying to warn you, my dear. Well, seeing as your boyfriend be here in a minute now, I guess you won't be needing me around to keep you company. With that, I'll take my leave of you, my dear. Good day, ma'am.
Ricky, where the hell are you? I've been waiting at this freak show for over a half hour. Look, baby, I'm sorry. I've just had a really rough day. You could please give me a call when you get this message, okay? Ricky? Please, Ricky, if you're there, Ricky, answer the phone. Ricky?
Well, hello there, little lady. Tell me, darling, did someone go and leave you all alone?
Yum. Hey, this is Alicia, mistress of the undead. Before I drank Jones Cola, I was flat-chested and fat, and now look at me.
Cut. When you get finished, I want you to stand up and show it off. Because you implied, now look at me, I want to look at you.
Okay.
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 What
You
about
can-
having her walk towards the camera? Can we get very
It's
far?
hard on the cameraman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
The
okay.
camera has actually been running all the time. Just stand up and show it off.
Yeah, he'll edit it. Walk a little bit towards it.
That's good.
Whoa.
Keep going.
Just keep coming. Go right to it. Walk past it. That'll do.
Hi, this is Alicia, mistress.
It was cold, late November, the witching hour near. The wind howled through the gallows tree, no one shared.